is you're able to actually get in there with the long head of this. What up YouTube, my name is Seabass and welcome back to another episode of Throttle Hobby. Here I have my XT 250 and you're probably wondering, Seabass, you just got a Ducati, why the hell are you messing around with the XT? Well, today's September 4th and on September 15th we go back up to Maine. And last time I was with this thing in Maine, it was really fun. But you're probably wondering, alright, what's this video about? Well, with a carburetor or any kind of engine, but carburetor specifically, when you adjust things, you have to adjust the carburetor so it works better to air to fuel mixture like any engine is. And your boy put a fat FMF power core 4 exhaust on there, and what happens is as the bike goes up to speed at around like 60, I want to say 7 when I got here at top gear, it almost feels like it's running out of fuel. So what we're gonna do in this episode is we're gonna go to the carb, which is down here. I'll get a flashlight so you guys can better see it, but we're gonna go to the carb and there's a little screw there that you could adjust fuel. I'm gonna turn it a quarter each time and take this thing for a ride every so often and see if I can get it back to where it generally was. So that'll be the main purpose of this video. So let's get a flashlight, grab our tools, and get back down to work. Now that we got our stuff, there's actually a bunch of ways you could do this. I've seen people on YouTube go and buy entirely new carburetors. I've seen people go and get the bigger jets. I've seen people do all that, but I'm gonna try to do this the cheapest way possible. So in here is the carburetor. Now this first screw, let me get some light on here. This first screw you see right here, that's the idle adjust screw. That adjusts your idle to make you go run higher, lower, whatever you got to set it. That's pretty much your idle, I guess you could call it air adjustment. But what we're looking for is actually the screw port right in there. Let me actually get a, let me set this here. I grab a screwdriver. In here is a screw on the underneath side, and that connects to the bowl of the carburetor. And the bowl is where all the fuel is stored. Now there's a float inside of there, and basically what the float does is it sits there like this, and as fuel gets poured in, it makes sure that it doesn't overfull or underfull. So right now, underfull, overfull, it doesn't, you know, it keeps the fuel in the correct spot. So since we've done our big beefy exhaust over here, the fuel is probably a little bit low. So what I'm going to do is adjust that screw, and then as I'm adjusting the screw, inside there's a couple, I don't know what I want to say, like it's like an adjustment point. And what it does is it'll level out and rise. So I'm going to give that a quarter of a turn and see how it goes. So a lot of people I know like to either take these carburetors out, or they try to figure out a way to get a screwdriver in there, but nah, I'm not doing that. What my boss actually went and bought a while ago is this single carburetor tool adjustment. Now what this does, for lack of a better word, is you're able to actually get in there with the long head of this, and as you pull on the handle, which is this part, in and out, you can see that the end pops in and out. And as I turn it, I can turn the top, adjusting the fuel screw I'm about to do. So let me grab this and adjust it about a quarter of a turn and see where that gets us. So, like in all easy fashion, the tool didn't work. So what I've done, just popped out the sides for the motorcycle on both sides, and I pretty much just took the 2 screws on the back of the seat, which go here underneath. And now I'm going to go and take off these plastic fins, which will be these 2 Allens. And there also seems to be extra Allen screws on this side underneath this one, and probably on the other side, so we'll get those out too. Then after you get that bottom screw out, you just go forward and it pops right off of this skittish grommet on this little hole. We'll do the same for the other side. Okay, now that we got those sides out, next we're going to take the tank off. These two, and I believe just this one, and then we'll slowly lift it off and see what's connected to the carburetor and to all this stuff. So let's get those two out, and that top one. So now that we got the tank off, I'm going to get rid of all the gas in there. I have a full tank from last year's Maine gas. With the gas up in Maine, there's a section where it's 93 and it's got no ethanol in it. So this is special gas. I got this Harbor Freight battery pump I put in there. I found a clean tank. I'm going to siphon all the gas into here and put it off to the side so I can save as much as possible. Just like that. So now that that's over there, it seems like the only thing our gas tank now is being held on to is where the fuel reservoir open, close, and reserve valve is. So we'll just take a pair of pinchers, pinch that off, take it off, and the tank will be off. That's a lot of offs. And there's our carb. So now I'm going to squeeze and pinch this hose off. I'm going to grab small Allens and take that clamp off the front. Do the same thing to the one in the back, and I'm going to see if I can get rid of the throttle cable off enough to spin this thing around and turn that bolt a little bit. All right, now that I've loosened both sides and taken that one little hose off, I'm going to loosen up this front coupler here with this Allen and that Allen down there, and hopefully just take it all off in one unit just so I get to that bottom bolt. So the next thing I'm going to do, actually, before I pop that one out, because the throttle cables are in the way, is I'm going to remove the throttle cable bolts, one here and one down below, pop that off to get to that. Now that we have removed that front piece, which is actually right here, gasket's still good. Yep, so now that we've removed that, I'm going to remove this top part, this hose, and there should be something on the bottom. I think it's right in there. I got to take a wrench, open up, and this carburetor should be out. So I'm on the other side. I removed another air hose from this little spout right here, which is this one down here. You can see it. Now all that's left, that's holding on, is that little electrical connector with that screw. I'm going to take that off and the carburetor should just pop right out. So here's the carb, and I am not seeing any fuel adjustment point screw. I thought it was this, but there's nothing in there. So what I'm gonna actually end up doing is the bottom here where I thought originally the screws were, I'm gonna pop these 3 bolts off as carefully as possible without ruining the seal that's around in there, and just checking my floats. Maybe if I dip the float down a little bit further, it'll be better, because normally when you set it like this, the float should be even. So let's give that a shot. So unfortunately, after all this work and all this tearing apart, when I got in here, the 2 jets inside there, what people are suggesting to do is get a jet kit and pretty much just keep sizing them up, sizing them down, seeing which one you like, just to get more fuel into it, because everything else is pretty good. So yeah, I'm gonna put this thing back together, put this back together, be able to drive home, pray to God, and I'll have to order a jet kit. So I guess for now, that's pretty much it. So this will be part 1. I guess I'll make a part 2 when I get the jet kits and put the jets back in there. But yep, so this is unfortunately the end. So I'll see you guys next weekend on another episode of Throttle Hobby, where hopefully Seabass can get jets and get this thing running like it was before. So later.